What's going on YouTube? That's so Kyle here, and this week I wanted to do a quick video about my game settings for Call of Duty Warzone. I actually received a request on getting this information in one of my next videos. So if you guys have any requests on things that you guys want to see, things you want to know, things you would like me to talk about, just leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I will definitely try to add it to a future video. Anyway, what I was asked was for, like I said, for getting some in-game settings, some keybinds. So that's what I'm about to do. If you guys don't know, I mainly play FPS games. Right now, I'm solely playing Call of Duty Warzone. We're on Season 3 right now, and with Season 3, there were some graphic setting changes. The graphic settings that you were using from previous seasons, you definitely needed to change them around a little bit moving into Season 3. Let's first start with my mouse settings. Right now, I'm actually using the Logitech Hero G502. It is a wired version. So you can download the Logitech software for your mouse, but just to show you guys, my DPI setting is at 1200 and my polling rate is at 500 for my gaming mouse. Okay, so my mouse sensitivity is 3.77. This is something that you guys can play around with yourself, but this is where I like to have it at. And then these are the rest of my settings. Feel free to just pause the video. I'm going to kind of go through these pretty quick. I want to be stopping at things that I think I need to emphasize. Most of the stuff is probably going to be set by default anyway. So these are all set to 1. These are all like the multipliers for the mouse sensitivity. ADS mouse sensitivity, I have it as relative. And then these are the advanced settings for the ADS settings. For the low and high zoom, I have it 1. ADS sensitivity, transition timing is gradual, and then the monitor distance coefficient, I have at 1.33. I'm not sure what this does, but I have it disabled. I think that's how it was by default. Mouse acceleration, mouse filtering, I have set at 0, and mouse smoothing, I have disabled. Now, for movement, slide canceling is actually something that you definitely want to get into the habit of doing. I'm pretty sure you guys have probably seen the sweaty rose skins, they're sliding around all over the place, and you're probably wondering like, oh, how do I do that? This is one of the ways you do it, is changing your slide, because by default, the slide behavior is by hold. You're going to want to switch that around to tap. This way, when you're sprinting, you just hit your crouch button or your slide button, and you'll go to slide, and then you hit it again to cancel it. And the rest of the stuff should be set by default. The crouch behavior, prone behavior, all that is set on by toggle. Let's see here. The only thing though is right here, I've actually been having problems in Warzone where I can't run or sprint until I get my loadout. So if I'm picking up, as soon as I land, I can't run for some reason. So what I did was I set this to where no matter if I'm moving, I'm running, and this seemed to have helped out a little bit. There are still some times where I still can't run, but it'll eventually start running. So I don't know if it's a glitch in the game. However, this is how I got around it. Hopefully, it is going to be fixed soon. If it is a bug, or it's just me or my keyboard, but I've actually used 2 of my keyboards, and they're both the same. So I'm not sure what exactly that is. But that's the only reason why I typically have this disabled. However, with this bug that I'm experiencing, I have it set to automatic tactical sprint. Then for the parachute auto deploy, I have this. This is set by default to enabled. However, for me, I like to have it disabled. I like to be able to control my parachute at all times. This way, if I'm dropping in and I'm trying to be stealthy, I can drop almost all the way down to the ground. As long as you time it correctly, you will open your chute right before you hit the ground, and your chute will only be open for a split second. And if you already know that when you open your chute, you're going to hear the parachute deploy, and that's kind of going to give it away of where you're at. And plus, when you're in the air, the longer you're gliding down, you're a slow-moving target. It's easier to get shot at. So that's why I have it disabled, so I can drop in right at the ground. And as for the rest of these, these all should be, let me just double check. These all should be set by default still. Yeah, these are all, I did not change these. Okay. That's that. Then for weapons and equipment, I have this disabled. I can't remember if, I think it's enabled by default. However, like when you run out of ammo on a weapon, it'll automatically switch to your next weapon. I want to be able to control things myself. This way, I know exactly what's going to happen. I don't have to worry about some sort of, all these auto factors coming into play. So that's why I have this disabled. Then the rest of these I think are all set by default. Let's see, these are my keybinds. Let's see, this should be the same. Reload, that's, yep, same. Next weapon. Next weapon, I have it, the secondary bind to my scroll wheel. This is, but typically it's 1 and 2, or, yeah, on the keyboard. This is my secondary for it. I have it attached to my scroll wheel. Same with, so 1 and 2 is going to do the next and previous weapon, and then up and down in the scroll wheel. Then when you mount, like if you're going up to like a wall and you want to mount onto the wall, I have it set to Z. Then alternate fire, I have set to B. That's if you have like, say you're using like an M4 where you can either do semi-automatic fire or fully automatic fire. Tapping B is going to switch between the two rate of fires. And then melee I have for E. Let's see, G I have for my grenades, my lethal grenades, tactical grenades. I have Q, and then I have the mouse scroll button. If you press the scroll wheel down, that's the one that I have my tactical equipment with. Let's see, I think this is default, 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 default. Yeah, all these are default. This one is kind of like, I don't remember what this is set at as default. However, I like to only be able to apply one, because I don't want it to do the whole animation, be stuck in an animation if I have an enemy coming. So this way I only do one at a time, check, put another plate in, check, another plate in, and then that's why I have it only as apply one. Okay, let's see here. I think all this, this is the other thing that I changed right here, using armor plates. This used to be 4, the number 4 on the keyboard. However, I didn't really like reaching up that far, because if you guys watch some of my other videos, you guys have seen that, I am recently switched to PC. I'm coming from Xbox One. I'm still getting used to all these keybind, being able to reach for different keys. However, instead of going for 4, I felt like going for the letter V was easier to apply plates for me, so that's why I switched to that. And then all these right here, these are all still set by default. I never mess with any of these. Okay. Let's see, inventory hold. Oh. I actually never knew about these shortcuts. I had to come back and look at these, but yeah. So F9, F10, F3. Just for this menu, this whole menu right here is F3. Social menu shortcut. Pause menu shortcut. So yeah, F1, F2. What's F1? I don't know what. So that's that. F3 is that. F9. Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, wow. We both learned something new today. I did not know about these shortcuts. Cool. Well, now you guys know too. Anyway, let's go back to this. Matt, there was one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, it might be in the next menu. Okay. Let's see here. So, accept notifications, decline notifications. This looks like these are still some more hotkeys. Yeah, okay. So, this is all for this stuff. This is all set, still set by default. Never mess with any of this stuff. So, let's go to the general. Let's see here. So, field of view. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with field of view, for console players, say this is the full screen that when you're playing Call of Duty. Okay, this is what the total things that you'd be able to see. However, for console players, they are limited to a 60 FOV. So that's what this is right here. So out of all the things that we would be able to see potentially if we have it set to 120 as PC players, what's inside this rectangle right here, it's the only thing that console players will be able to see. When I did some research about what the best FOV is, to my surprise, it was not running the full 120 FOV. It was actually running around 100. From a lot of the professional players, that's what they run. They run around this number. From what I understand, it's kind of like the sweet spot where you're not looking for too much. It's not too little, you know, like Goldilocks. It's just right. And then for ADS field of view, I put as independent. As you can see right here, this is when you're having it set to affect it, you're kind of still cutting off the rest of the world here when you're ADSing. And if somebody is like right here, okay, that's definitely not going to be good for you being able to see that. So that's why I leave this as independent. In terms of brightness, this is where I have it set. Basically all you do is you just follow the directions when you go into it. 51.9 is what works for mine. Basically, is where you can easily see this, barely see this, and you cannot see this. Because one click down, I'm not actually able to see this. So that's why I left it at 51.9. These next two are going to be for basically how far out and how far up your screen will go. I have mine set to 100%. And then these ones are, I have this disabled, I have this enabled. Colorblind, I am colorblind, funny, but I actually don't mess with this because I don't think that it actually helps, you know, because I use Nvidia filters, so this definitely kind of leave it alone. But from what I understand though, for console players, this actually helps give you a brighter image. So yeah, definitely look into that. Oh, this is what I was looking for earlier. When you come to your mini-map, by default, it's going to be a circle. You're definitely going to switch this to a square because obviously you get more, area covered using a square. As you can see, you're missing all this part of the map over here. So get that little bit of edge. Definitely use a square. Then I have the map rotation enabled. And if you ever looked at the top of your map in Warzone, you're going to see, if you guys were not familiar, there are numbers and letters up top there. It's essentially a compass. So when you're getting shot at or you see an enemy, you can call out their location by using this number system. I have letters, so this way when you, instead of shouting out 270, you see it'll say W for west. This way if you guys aren't like all map people and knowing all these numbers, using letters is definitely a lot easier because you'll be able to see like north, west, south, east, and then the northeast, blah blah, etc., etc. So that's why I would suggest using letters. And I have all these enabled. Let's see. Oh, this right here. Let's see. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. This is what I have at the top of my screen right here. So I would definitely turn this on. You can kind of monitor things that this is the main one that I kind of keep an eye on. along with this one. I'm not trying to fry my GPU, and I'm not trying to, I want to know when I'm dropping frames. So that's why I have those. All these are able to turn on. And let's see here. Let's go into the graphics settings. Now, this is kind of important. I'll definitely want to. This is going to kind of prelude into next week's video. When I talk about my PC, I'm revisiting this PC on my review. I bought it a couple months ago, and I can leave that video in right here, just if you're interested in watching that video. It's talking about what I feel is the best pre-built gaming PC on the market right now. You get the best bang for your buck, and I just want to kind of give you guys an idea of what how I still feel about it. Some benchmark numbers on FPS values a couple months later, and how I feel about the PC, how it's doing overall within the last couple months. But definitely hit the subscribe and notification bell, and this way you'll know when I drop that video. However, like I said, that's for next week, and it's just kind of give you, and right now I'm about to go over my graphics settings. This way it will kind of give you a benchmark of what to expect with what settings, graphic settings, and where I have them at. So let's take a look at these. So for display mode, I have full screen. This right here just tells you what monitor you're looking at. This one right here is the graphics card. I have an older monitor. This is pretty old. Definitely a few years old. Not sure, it's technically supposed to be 144, but obviously it's not a true 144. I'm guessing because I'm using HDMI, not DPI. But yeah, so you want to choose the respective refresh rate of your monitor. For the render resolution, I have it set at 100. Right here, when you go into advanced display resolution, if this was a 1440p monitor, you would obviously choose 1440, but this is a 1080 monitor, so that's what option I have chosen. For aspect ratio, I have set it automatic. For sync, VSync, I have disabled. Custom frame limit, I have an unlimited. Nvidia highlights, let's see, I'll show you what guys I have in here, but these are set by default. So let's see here. Nvidia highlights I have disabled. Reflex low latency I have enabled plus boost. Let's see, display gamma 2.2. I think that's how it is set by default. I do stream, so I kind of want to make sure that it's not too bad, my stream quality, so I have this set to normal. All these are set to normal. Set this to high. Bullet impact, so it shows you whether one bullet's hit a wall or something like that. So texture streaming I have disabled, and these are disabled by default when you don't select this. Okay, so like I said, since I do stream, I kind of want to keep these somewhat not too crazy bad looking, even though it's because I'm still going to be floating over 100 FPS, so I'm not really too worried about trying to save frames that much. So we got shadow map resolution set to normal, cache spot shadows disabled. This is at normal. Ray tracing I had disabled. Ambient oculation, I think this is how it is set by default. This is set to low. So filmic strength I had to 0. Nvidia DLSS. Now I've seen some ads, I've seen some things about advertising about DLSS. I haven't really looked into it. For one, I don't have a monitor to really take advantage of it, but I've heard that it increases video quality while increasing your FPS. So when I do eventually upgrade my monitor, I'll definitely take a look into this. Leave me a comment if you guys use DLSS. Let me know if it's worth even looking into. Okay, next is anti-aliasing. I have this off. Depth of view disabled. Okay, here we go. Depth of field, I have this disabled. As you can see, I don't like things being blurry. I don't like that. I want to be able to see clearly everything. I know it's not realistic, but this is a video game. So if there's an option to where I can make it unrealistic to give me an advantage of being able to see things more clear, I'm definitely going to make sure that I have that enabled. So that's why I have this option disabled. I do not want this blur right here. Same with world motion blur. I don't want that. I want to be able to see enemies. And then same with weapon blur. There's no need, you know, if it's a video game, so I want to be able to have the biggest edge that I can. So I want to have all these things enabled or disabled respectively, so that I can get that edge. And then film grain, you know, I have this set to 0 and enabled. And then this is you know, the max that I have is 120. That's based on my my monitor. I'm definitely going to increase this when I upgrade my monitor. And if you guys have any recommendations on at least a 1440p monitor, I'm trying to stay around $500 or less. So leave me a comment with any sort of suggestions that you guys might have. They can be Amazon affiliate links, I don't care. I want to check them out. So leave me a comment, let me know. So the next is going to be audio settings. For the most part, there's a couple of these in here that I changed, but for the most part, they're all set by default. Now, midnight mode, there's quite a different options here. This one I like because, you know, you don't have to have the volume all the way up, and, you know, you'll still be able to hear the footsteps clearly. So mess around with these, see what you like best, but midnight mode is what I like. So master volume, music volume, dialogue. Okay, right here. I actually received somebody was in my Twitch chat the other day when I was streaming, and they gave me the suggestion that, oh hey, I can't really hear you that well. Your game volume is overpowering your voice. So I didn't even know about that. So if you guys have any comments, definitely stop by my stream. Let me know what you guys think. I'm still working on this to see, you know, where a good happy medium is. So I want to leave my links down in the description below. I stream to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Gaming. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If I need to increase my my voice volume, decrease my game volume, or, you know, you think it looks good. But I stream on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. Back to my settings. So that's what these are right here. This is talking about of my volume versus the game volume. And, you know, if one of the features in the game is juggernauts, if you want to be able to hear their music, let you guys know if you're nearby, turn that on. Hit marker sound effects, I like the, you know, the OG Modern Warfare sound. Definitely want to have this disabled. Being able to have stereo sound. You know, you don't want to have just it all one. Let's see here. Voice chat enabled. Then this is your communications device. This is what I have it set to. Open mic. I have this set on open mic. I don't really use push to talk because I know myself and I will most likely end up forgetting to hit the button to push to talk. So I'll be constantly muted. So that's why I use open mic. Threshold for recording, voice chat volume, microphone volume, voice chat effect. This is like kind of like changing, you know, voice filters. And you got this stuff right here where you know, this is for while you're driving in one of the in-game vehicles. Controller, I don't play on controller, so this, if you're playing on PC, this is irrelevant to you. Yeah, this is all your account information. I don't have my Activision number after my name. I don't want people to know that. That's why I keep it hidden. You can do as you please with that. Plus, I like the way it looks. Just looks cleaner, you know, without having a number like a pound sign with a bunch of numbers past it. You know, this just looks so much more clean. Anyway, so the next thing I want to show you guys is some of the Nvidia filters. The hotkey for that is Alt-Z to get up into the menu, and then you go into the game filters right here. This is what the game, you know, the loading screen, as you can see, it's pretty dark. This is, with the graphic settings that I put them at currently, this is what it looks like. Let's go ahead and hop into a game real quick, and I want to show you what the game looks like inside, with and without the Nvidia filters, and I'm going to show you what values I have for each of these filters. Alright, so the filters that you guys are going to want to use is details, color, and brightness and contrast. If you open these up, what you're going to look, this is where I have my settings set at. Sharpness at 36, clarity is at 55, HDR toning is at 49, and bloom is at 0. You can change these however you want, kind of give you an idea of what each one does. But yeah, so that's what this one is. And then for color, I have tint color and tint intensity set to 0, temperature is negative 13.6, and vibrance is at 13.7. And then for brightness and contrast, I have exposure 0, contrast 0, highlight 0, shadows at negative 100, and gamma at 0. So that's where I have these. And you guys go ahead and play around with them if you want, but these are just the settings that I have these set at. And just one more time to show you guys, this is with the filters off, and then this is with the filters on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to hit the like button. And I'm actually really excited for next week's video, where I go back and talk about the review on my PC. So definitely be sure to hit the subscribe and notifications bell if you want to know when I drop that video. But until next time, YouTube, I'm Not So Kyle. Thanks for watching.